Hello and welcome to Late Listening. I'm Chris.
Jazz.
And what are we talking about today?
Elliott Smith.
Elliott Smith, one of our favorite artists.
Yes.
And one of our favorite songs.
Yes.
So today we're talking about the song Waltz No. 2, XO, from the album XO. Elliott Smith has a lot of perfect songs because he's a great songwriter. But this song in particular, I think this is, maybe I can say, his most perfect pop song.
Okay.
Of course, this album, was his first major label record. He had a lot of money for the first time. He could use all kinds of instruments and orchestration and things that he could never do before.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know if he meant this to be particularly a pop song, but I love the fact that he used a waltz to make this song, like he made it in such a weird way, even though it's incredibly catchy, and it's like easy to sing along. It's really memorable, and musically it's very interesting. But it's in the waltz time, which you don't hear many songs in the waltz time that are big like pop songs. Why do you like this song?
Why do I like this song?
Yeah.
Because of my personal feelings. Like every time when I like a song, I just have a feeling that the song gives me, and I really like the feel. I guess the feeling that this song gives me. Yeah.
What kind of feeling does it give you?
It's really sad. Really sad.
Really sad.
Just, I mean, Elliott Smith always makes me sad, and that's why I enjoy him.
Yeah.
I think every song has an energy that gives off.
Okay,
and just,
I see.
Yeah, I think people detect it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, waltz is supposed to be very delicate, like dance song. Usually,
Yeah.
and like you said, like it's not used for pop song much.
No, it's rare.
He decided to do that, and then like at first it starts off with a drum, right? But
Yeah, his own drumming. Yeah.
But it's like really rough. And then like the guitar comes in, even more rough. And I just kind of feel like he tries to put the wild face on something that's really delicate.
That's interesting.
So like I feel like it's very him. Like he's a very delicate person, but he tries to show and come across as this wild or rough person, but it's underneath, it's really not. That's why I think I feel sad.
That's really interesting. I never thought about the contrast of that, because I like this song because of that kind of the I don't know if I could say like aggressiveness or the grittiness of the guitar and the drums. The bass of it is kind of a little bit wild, like you said.
Yeah, it is.
And so that attracts me. But I didn't think about the contrast between the waltz being like it's a delicate dance song.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
or,
Usually it's just beautiful,
Yeah. Well, and Waltz No. 1, which is on here, is a very delicate and beautiful song.
Yeah.
It's just him and the piano, basically, in this really gorgeous, sad ballad. But Waltz No. 2 is completely different.
Yeah.
And I used to try to find like a connection between the two, but I don't think that there is, at least not in a concrete way. Talking about the music, I think the music is really amazing in the sense that it's such a beautiful melody.
Yeah.
At a time when, in the mid-90s or toward the end of the 90s, there really weren't, like, melody was not really emphasized, especially in, like, rock or whatever you would call Elliott Smith, indie rock or whatever. Nobody was really focusing on, like, beautiful melodies. And I think that also fits into the waltz, the pop. It's really catchy. And I like the fact that the lead guitar comes in first, doing the melody line before he starts singing. And then later it's the piano. And I like the fact that there's that, I don't think it's a call and response, but it's like two different voices. Not talking about Elliott Smith's voice, but like there's the guitar voice, like the lead guitar voice, and then the lead piano voice. And the piano also gets really wild toward the end of the song. It becomes almost like a ragtime, like old-timey piano, which is just amazing. Like the fact that he could just put all that in there. And the fact that he plays basically all the instruments himself. He co-produced this album with Rob Schnapp. And the first thing I want to say is that I don't think that this song, from Elliott Smith's perspective, I don't think that this is a sad song. Okay. Elliott Smith would often say that like songs of his that were taken as really depressing were not meant to be. On the next album, Figure Eight, there's a song called Everything Means Nothing to Me, which, as the title alone suggests, it's really a dark song. But he said in an interview that sentiment was not supposed to be depressing. It was supposed to be freeing, almost in like a kind of like a Buddhist way, where you just don't feel you're not pulled down by these feelings anymore. Everything means nothing to me, meaning you're kind of removed from it, or you're at peace with it in a way. But of course, most people would take that to mean, you're depressed and you're having a really hard time. And so along the same line, I think this song too is not meant to be sad, because at the center of it is, I'm going to love you anyway. The love is there.
Wow.
And to me, it's a series of portraits of these sad people, but I don't think the song itself is meant to be sad from Elliott Smith's perspective.
Okay.
Because, like, Elliott Smith is always sad and always melancholy, pretty much. But it's like, I feel like this song is, like, one of the lighter of his dark world.
Okay.
Like, he has other songs that are much, much darker than this. And I feel like from his perspective, it's not really a happy song, but it's also not, I feel like it's not meant to be so depressing. It's just these portraits of these kind of, damaged people. It's sad like life is sad, but it's also hopeful like life is hopeful.
It's heart tearing.
Yes, it is.
In this melody, like he says, "I'm gonna love you anyhow."
Yeah.
That had some weight to it, in my opinion.
It does.
But I mean, if you literally take it just as words, sure, it may not be a sad song. You can't deny that he was making arts based on his sadness.
Of course.
I don't know. Like, he can deny as much as he wants, but like that feeling's oozing out. In my opinion.
Of course. No, I think so too.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about what was going on in this song until I really spent some time looking into these lyrics. But I think that this song is set in a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
The setting seems to be a karaoke bar. And at the beginning, he says, first the mic, then a half cigarette, singing Kathy's Clown. And Kathy's Clown is this old country song. Even someone like me who grew up listening to country music, I can't really listen to Kathy's Clown by the Everly Brothers. It's a really twangy, old-timey song. But Elliott Smith, of course, grew up mainly in Texas before he moved to Portland. And so it's speculated that this might have been one of his mom's favorite songs because his mom factors into this song quite a bit. But anyway, the Kathy's Clown by the Everly Brothers begins with, "Don't want your love anymore, don't want your kisses, that's for sure. I die each time I hear this sound. Here he comes, that's Kathy's Clown." Then he says, "That's the man she's married to now, that's the girl he takes around town." And so he's giving this portrait. I feel like the woman may not even be the same woman from line to line. Like, that's the man she's married to now, that's the girl he takes around town. Like, as if the man might even be cheating on the woman that he's talking about. Like, it might even be, like, you can take this in so many different ways.
Okay.
Yeah. Because why would he say, like, that's the man she's married to now, that's the girl he takes around town? It almost sounds like a different person, And then, of course, stares into space like a dead China doll. She's having some kind of problem. Now she's done and they're calling someone, such a familiar name. I'm so glad my memory's remote. Elliott Smith likes to play with names. On his earlier record, he has a song called The Biggest Lie. And in that song, he says, "I'm a crushed credit card registered to Smith, not the name you call me with." Because, of course, his name is not really Elliott, it's Stephen.
Okay.
And so he changed his name when he was quite young. So he likes to use names or no name. Actually, some of his early songs are no name number 5 or no name number whatever.
I see.
I just think that's really interesting. Such a familiar name. Is it his name? Are they calling him to go sing karaoke, or is it a name of someone that he knows? It's like, it's just such a, you can really imagine so many things with that. Then it switches to the revenge to the tune. So he says, here it is, the revenge to the tune You're No Good. And You're No Good was a song that was originally performed by D.D. Warwick in 1963. Also was a hit for Linda Ronstadt in 1974. That's the version that I was aware of. But again, maybe his mom's favorite music. But of course, in that song, I mean, he even says it, you're no good, you're no good. You can tell it's well understood. So it's really like a karaoke battle. And see, this is where the not completely depressing comes in, because You're No Good is actually a defiant breakup song. The first lines of that song, feeling better now that we're through, feeling better because I'm over you. So it's an interesting contrast, I think, when you break it down. But the beauty of Elliott Smith is you don't have to know any of that. You know, singing Kathy's Clown can just be like a guy who's singing. You know, that's Kathy's Clown. You don't even know it's Everly Brothers. Doesn't matter. Okay, you know, but this song has so many levels. It's just amazing. And then the rest of the song, basically, I take it to be kind of free association. Like he's thinking about this letter exchange with his mom. And, you know, it says, looking out on the substitute scene, still going strong, exo mom. That's obviously his mom writing to him. Some people have interpreted that as his letter, but I don't think so. I think it's his mom. Still going strong, you know. That's something your mom would say.
Okay.
And I like the fact that he uses substitute scene because his mom was a teacher, maybe a substitute teacher for a while. And also substitute scene, it's like he's looking out on the imaginary, you know, not here.
Yeah.
He's looking out on a substitute scene that he doesn't, you know, that he wants to see rather than what's in front of him. And that kind of fits in later when he says, tell Mr. Man with impossible plans to just leave me alone, in the place where I make no mistakes, in the place where I have what it takes, which doesn't exist, right? There is no place where you don't make mistakes. There is no place like that. But I think it's more of like, again, the substitute scene, his imagination, his safe place inside, you know. Yeah, I like this amazing imagery and amazing, you know, with just a short line like that. Any of these lines can be just taken in different ways. They add up to such an amazing picture of these people and this scene.
There's love because of that line, the I'm gonna love you line.
Like even earlier, I think that it, again, that line applies in different ways throughout the song. Like it means different things. Like at first, he's talking about, you know, Kathy's Clown, the girl he takes around town. She shows no emotion at all, stares into space like a dead China doll. I'm never going to know you now, but I'm going to love you anyhow. Is that Elliott? Or the narrator? Is that the narrator looking at her? And it's almost like a love at first sight. But then she's with this guy and she's kind of like, you know, having some problems. Or is it that guy's perspective? Like he doesn't even know, but he wants this beautiful woman on his arm. You know, he's going to love her even though...
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's like, what is it? And listening to the song again and again, I almost feel like it's the narrator looking at that girl. Like maybe he used to know her, you know, and now she's the girl that guy's taking around town. But like, oh, I'm never going to know you now, but I'm still going to love you. You know, I've always loved you kind of thing. And then later it's his mom. You know, his mom's with the stepdad, Mr. Man with impossible plans, like, just leave me alone. But, Mom, I still love you, you know.
Again, I think that's what that just depends on how you take that information and process it versus me doing the same.
Yeah.
That's even harder when there's feeling of love, in my opinion.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like if it was just clear cut, like I'm done with you, or like I'm never going to know you.
Yes.
You know, like that song, You're No Good. You're No Good. I mean, that's a finality song. We're broken up. You're no good. I'm done. You know.
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, because the love lingers, it makes
That's why it's sad.
And I agree with you completely. But I also think that makes it hopeful a little bit because after all, the narrator hasn't given up.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I mean, there's other Elliott Smith songs that hint at suicide and just, you know, the absolute blackest hopelessness. Whereas this one, it's like,
it
but
becomes philosophical.
he's still loving, you know, he's still capable of love.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's a happy song.
Yeah.
Let's get that clear. It's just there's a sad beauty in there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not pure
Yeah,
nihilism.
I get it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. So after these, like, study and facts that you dug, like, what did you really feel? What do you really feel with this song?
Respect for Elliott Smith's songwriting ability. No. Yeah, I just feel the same way that I did when I first heard the song, which is I'm amazed at the power of this song. This song will always mean a lot to me because of friends that I've had that listen to Elliott Smith, and this was the first Elliott Smith record that I bought, and I didn't really know much about Elliott Smith. I had heard a little bit of his acoustic stuff, but I bought this and I was very overwhelmed and amazed at this entire record. And XO Waltz Number 2 was maybe the most beautiful like centerpiece of this record. So I still just look at it as a great song, as a perfect song. I think it's just musically it's perfect, lyrically it's perfect. But diving into it and pulling out these little moments and looking at how he constructed it so simply, like a pop song, but with this absolute depth and layers and people online arguing about what does it mean.
Yeah.
That also makes it perfect, because a great song, I think you shouldn't necessarily know what it means. It just means something to you.
Yes.
And so I just get in awe of the power of this song.
Okay.
Still now.
I have a very like dark background, I suppose. That's why I just resonate with his music very much. But yeah, I'd like to know what people think.
Yeah, me too.
I like the fact that the song next,
The next song.
Baby Britain.
Yeah.
I like how he goes to that song after this song. Because
Why is that?
it just lifts up, I guess.
It does. Baby Britain seems even much happier compared to
Yeah.
XO, yeah. I mean, even for me, thinking XO is not like the saddest song. It is a complete contrast from those strings and and then it's like Baby Britain.
Yeah.
It's little.
Do you think it was
eighth notes.
purposeful?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, Elliott Smith was very careful about his track ordering and things like that.
When it used to matter.
Yeah. Well, of course, at
Yeah.
this time, 1998. I mean, yeah, it does matter. Still matters. But yeah, I love the fact that he puts the track order is very carefully put together, and it's a journey. It really is a journey. All of his albums. I hope you didn't get too depressed by our little video, and I hope you'll give us a comment and say, which one you agree with.
Yeah, I'd like to know what people think of this song.
Yeah, just in general, we'd like to know what you think of the song and, your take on it. So leave us a comment if you feel like it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again.